Hello everybody, welcome to the episode 2 of my little mini-series about breathing. We're still in chapter 1, which is all about some of the foundations in my take on things. Today I want to talk about the neck, and maybe not everybody is quite aware of how that is related to us being able to breathe fully and at our full capacity. So specifically talking about tension that we all carry around in the neck. It's kind of twofold. One is that the muscles going all the way up into the neck actually also play a role in the breathing mechanism. There's so many muscles involved all around the upper thorax, including also further down the abdominal. So that's contributing in one way. But what I really want to talk about today is more the tension that we carry in the deeper sub-occipital muscles. So there is 4 pairs of those, and they sit really more deep inside, and they attach to the base bone here, the occiput of our skull, and they are in charge of stabilizing our head. The reason that is relevant is that just on the side to the occiput, between the occiput and the bone here on the side, the temporal, there is a tiny little opening. We've got a few of those, through which a bunch of nerves and blood vessels pass. And one of those nerves is the very important vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve, amongst many other things, is also in charge of regulating the opening and closing of our bronchi, for example, and therefore supporting the optimum oxygen absorption. So when people suffer from respiratory conditions, chronically potentially, one aspect to really not neglect is if there is a good, I'm going to say a little bit more in easy terms, that there is a good flow of information available on this nerve, because a lot of us, through stress, through straining our eyes way too much, through bad posture, we carry quite a bit of tension around this area, and I'm sure most of us will be quite familiar with that. And that can have a real impact on the flow of communication there, because it's literally pinching on those nerves. And so tension around these muscles is also directly linked to our eyes. And so we have lots of impulses all the time, right, of things happening around us. So we are adjusting, and we're looking and responding to that. And as we don't only just move the eyes, we also move along. And with the head being actually quite heavy and only sitting right on top of that bit of spine there, it requires quite a bit of stabilizing all the time. And so when I move my eyes and I look at things and I want to respond to things, it's not those sub-occipital muscles that move the head, but they are fine-tuning and they are balancing the skull so that it sort of doesn't get blown off or falls off. It's attached, of course, but that it doesn't sort of get too heavy on one side or the other. That it captures the head all the time. And so the movement of our eyes is directly linked to these muscles here. And so that also means that if we strain our eyes too much, if we have eye fatigue from looking at a screen way too much, and all of that, there is also a direct link. And you might even notice that when you free this up, you might literally also notice a little bit of a difference in your sight. So they really work. They really work together. And obviously, with all of this increased screen time all the time, plus the day-to-day stress, maybe the stress of pandemic and everything else. So there's a constant build-up of tension here, but we don't really do so much to release it. And so in the morning breathing practices that I do with people 3 times a week, we always do a little something for releasing the neck. You can do a whole bunch of things. I'm going to share 2 things today. So there is a whole range of exercises you can actually do with your eyes. And the thing with the eyes is that we'll do one now, but you might find, wow, that's actually way more intense than I would expect. I mean, I'm just moving the eyes. It's like almost like the smallest movement we could even do in the body. So it's really important to, if you find it feels really quite intense, to just do it in small increments. You don't have to hold it for the whole duration. You could go in and out, and and focus on, or check with the body if there is something contracting or holding, or if you're holding your breath whilst you're doing the eye exercises, and noticing that will already help to maybe let that fall away as it's not needed. And so be really kind and take it step by step doing any of these eye exercises. I want to do one here with you today, and maybe we'll feel a bit of an effect already, I don't know. So it might be nice to even move the head around to check what the range of motion here is, what that all feels like today, because it might not be the same as yesterday. And so to this exercise, there's 3 layers, and you can engage with any one of them more or less. So you have lots of options there. And so the first thing is that we tilt the head to the side. So I'm taking let's all take the head over towards the left side. I'm taking my left ear towards the shoulder, but I'm checking here. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not going to the limit. I'm not going to a stretch space. I'm going where my neck is going. Yeah, that's okay. Can feel almost a little bit vulnerable here. I'm making sure my face is facing forwards. And then I'm going to take my eyes, so this is now step 2, and look also to the left, out of the left corners of my eyes. So I'm sitting cross-legged, so I'm targeting with my eyes like the spot right next to my left knee, or if you're sitting on a chair right now, I'm kind of trying to find that spot on the floor next to your chair. And we keep our eyes there. And so this is the place where you definitely want to check in. Is that still feeling okay? Do I want to take a break here and there? That's absolutely fine. We're not going to stay here for all that long. And the third layer to this little exercise is to take the right arm, so the opposite arm, out to the side. And then you can decide, so do you want to take that a little bit higher up, a little bit further back, a little bit further down, and moving the arm around just a little. So I tend to take it a little bit behind me and a little bit below my shoulder. Well, I think that's the felt sense of it anyway, so I can't see it. To find that sweet spot for you. So where does that feel like? Yeah, it's kind of creating a connection here to this whole setup. And then in this position, let's take 3 slightly deeper breaths. Almost like, imagine you could sort of breathe into this whole position with those 3 deeper breaths. So here we go. And then we undo this step by step. So first we take the hand back. Then we release the eyes, looking back to the front. And then I take my left hand and support the head, bringing it back up into the center. And then here we take a moment and look around, move the head, the signaling back into the body. Okay, we're all good here. It's all fine. Releasing. The eyes normalizing a little bit. Okay. And then we repeat the same thing on the other side. So we take the right ear towards the right shoulder, and it's only a small tilt where that's comfortable enough. So we take the eyes and look out of the right corners of the eyes, focusing on that spot somewhere on the floor. You might notice how in time the eyes tend to drift a little bit. So you can really mark a spot somewhere there to your side. That might help, and really try and keep it there. And then we take the left arm out to the side, and again we check, do I want to take it a bit further up, a bit lower, a little bit further back behind? Where is that sweet spot here? And then we take 3 deeper breaths, as if we could sort of breathe into this position. Step by step we take it out. So we bring the hand back first, then we release the eyes, and then we use the right hand and help the head to come back up to the center. And again, move that head around, look around a little bit. And so now as we do that, check in with your movement and your range of movement, and maybe you notice a little bit of a difference. And look around, like, you know, does that feel any different at all? So this would be one exercise. There's a whole bunch more all related with the eyes. And sometimes when I get onto the yoga mat as well, I would make sure that I play with 1 or 2 of those to give a little bit of attention to this area. And then the second thing I wanted to share, and that's the last one for today, is, you know, we all so often would love a neck massage, and it's not always so easy because, you know, ideally we'll have somebody else do it for us. This is one that I quite like doing on myself, and it's super easy, and I do it quite often actually. So I take one hand, a full hand, and cup it around the back of the neck here, turning the head away, so that makes the access a little bit easier here as well. And then with that full contact of the hand around the back of the neck, I pull that forwards, and I sort of lean back into that. And with that, then also turn the head towards the arm. So it is a little bit like I'm wringing out those neck muscles here. And so I would probably do about, I don't know, maybe 4 on each side, 3 or 4 minimum. No, so if you're enjoying it, go for more repetitions. So other side, again, turning the head away to have that access here, and then pulling forwards. I'm sort of leading with my elbow here. And with the pull, I turn my head into the pull. So this could also be a great mini break throughout your day, you know, on a regular basis, especially if you work on your computer all day long. Make sure you take those little breaks, and this could be a nice little exercise to put into the mix of things there. And so check how that feels. So this is part of laying some of the foundations of improving the kind of conditions and the circumstances, you know, and all the kind of things that are at play inside of our body that actually have some impact on our quality of breathing. that was episode number 2. I'll be back again. What day is it today? Friday. So I'll be back again on Monday with the next episode. There we're going to talk about more of the breathing muscles, all of the muscles around the thorax that are involved in the diaphragm. Again, as part of laying foundation, opening some of that up, releasing some of the tension that we carry around there, mostly habitually, to improve our breathing. So that's coming on Monday. Until then, have a lovely weekend, everybody, and thank you for watching. Take care.